West Virginia is a place of staggering natural beauty, a landscape carved by ancient mountains and winding rivers. It's often called the Mountain State, and for good reason. The Appalachian Range defines not just the geography but also the spirit of the people who live here. These hills have a way of holding on to traditions, creating communities that are tight-knit and deeply connected to the land. Yet, this same isolation has also given rise to stories and stereotypes that paint a picture of the state that is often incomplete and honestly sometimes unkind. People from the outside might have a certain idea of West Virginia, one shaped by movies and whispers, but the reality is far more complex and human than any caricature could ever capture. Before we delve into the more sensitive aspects of life here, it's important to understand the context. For generations, families have lived in the same hollows and valleys, their lives intertwined with their neighbors and the rugged environment around them. This creates a powerful sense of place and identity. The people are known for their resilience, a quality forged by economic hardship and the challenges of living in a remote, often unforgiving landscape. They are fiercely proud of their heritage, their music, their unique way of life. It's a culture that values self-reliance and family, where roots run as deep as the coal seams that once powered the nation. My journey into this world isn't about confirming sensationalist tales. It's about listening. It's about trying to understand what life is really like for people who are often spoken about but rarely heard from. For many families living deep in the Appalachian hollows, the day begins early with the first light of dawn filtering through the trees. Life here follows a rhythm dictated by the seasons, not the clock. Mornings are for practical tasks, tending a small garden, beans, tomatoes, squash, chopping firewood. Work is often close to home, formal jobs are scarce. Some travel long distances for work, long commutes on winding mountain roads. Jobs in construction, healthcare, retail. Others rely on the land, hunting, fishing. Families with members who are disabled or chronically ill. Life revolves around caregiving, preparing meals, administering medication, providing companionship. Afternoons, children return from a long bus ride, multiple generations living together or nearby, a grandfather teaching a grandchild to fix a small engine, a mother and daughter canning vegetables, preserving the harvest. Evening, families gather for a simple homemade dinner. The porch becomes the living room on a clear night. The forest at night, crickets, owls, the rustle of leaves. Quiet moments that bring peace, a simple life rich with connection and belonging. Living in such a secluded environment brings with it a unique set of challenges, particularly when it comes to health. Families have lived in the same isolated communities for generations. Opportunities to meet people from outside their immediate area are limited. This can lead to a smaller gene pool, sometimes resulting in a higher incidence of certain genetic conditions. It's a sensitive topic, but it's a medical reality for some. Hereditary health issues can be passed down from one generation to the next, creating a quiet, ongoing struggle that is managed within the home. Access to healthcare is a significant hurdle in itself. The nearest doctor's office can be a long, difficult drive away. The nearest hospital can be even farther, specialized clinics are even farther. This means preventative care is often neglected, and health problems are sometimes not addressed until they become emergencies. For families dealing with chronic illnesses or congenital conditions, this lack of access is a constant source of stress. They become incredibly resourceful, learning to manage complex medical needs on their own. But the emotional toll is immense and the physical toll is immense. Beyond the medical issues, there is a profound social isolation. While the community within a hollow can be incredibly supportive, the world outside it can feel distant and unwelcoming. For some, a trip to the nearest large town can be a daunting experience where they might face stares or unkind comments based on how they look or speak. This can lead to a reluctance to venture far from home, reinforcing the cycle of isolation. Children in particular may feel this acutely, sensing that they are different from their peers in school. Without reliable internet access, which is still a luxury in many parts of rural West Virginia, opportunities for education, work, and social connection are limited. They navigate these challenges with a quiet dignity, finding strength in their family bonds and their deep connection to the place they call home. Despite the hardships, life in these communities is far from bleak. In fact, it is often punctuated by moments of profound joy, love, and unwavering support. Because formal resources are scarce, people rely on each other in a way that is rarely seen in modern society. When a family falls on hard times, if someone loses a job or faces a medical emergency, the community quietly mobilizes. Neighbors will show up with a hot meal. Neighbors will offer to watch the children. Neighbors will pool their money to help with an unexpected bill. This is not seen as charity, it's just what you do for your own. It is a powerful, unspoken pact of mutual care. Family is the bedrock of this resilience. The love within these families is palpable and fierce. You see it in the way a mother gently cares for a child with special needs, her patience seemingly endless. You see it in the laughter shared between cousins as they play in a creek on a hot summer day, their world for that moment perfect and complete. Celebrations, like birthdays or holidays, are cherished events. A close-up of two people's hands, one older and one younger, working together to shell beans into a bowl. They may not involve expensive gifts, but they are rich with food, music, and the warmth of being together. These moments of happiness are a powerful antidote to the struggles of daily life, reinforcing the bonds that give them strength. Hope also comes from the simple pleasures that the land provides, a quiet walk in the woods, the satisfaction of a successful hunt. Many people possess an incredible knowledge of the natural world, knowing which plants are medicinal and where to find the best wild berries. This connection to the land is a source of pride and sustenance. You also find hope in the small acts of defiance against stereotypes. You find it in a teenager who, despite limited resources, excels in school with dreams of going to college. It is a testament to the human spirit's ability to find light even in the most challenging of circumstances, proving that resilience and love can flourish anywhere. One of the most pervasive and damaging stereotypes about rural West Virginia revolves around the idea of inbreeding as a widespread casual practice. This is a gross oversimplification that borders on fiction. The reality is far more nuanced and stems from historical and geographical isolation, not from a cultural preference. For centuries, small remote communities existed with very little contact with the outside world. The rugged terrain made travel difficult, opportunities to meet people from other areas were extremely limited. Over many generations, this led to marriages between people who were distantly related, often without their knowledge of shared distant ancestry. This is a critical distinction to make. Genetic health issues that can arise are an unintended consequence of geography, not a reflection of people's values or intelligence. The people living in these hollows are not willfully ignorant. They live within circumstances established long before they were born. To label them with cruel, simplistic terms is to ignore the complex history of Appalachia. It's an easy, lazy way to dismiss a group and feel superior, while ignoring systemic issues like poverty and lack of infrastructure that have plagued the region for decades. Another harmful myth is that these communities are filled with people who are uneducated, lazy, content to live on government assistance. This ignores the strong work ethic that defines Appalachian culture. People here value self-reliance and hard work, but the economic landscape has been devastating. The decline of the coal industry, once the state's lifeblood, left communities without primary employment. When you spend time here, you meet people who are resourceful, intelligent, skilled. They can repair an engine, build a house, grow their own food. They are not lazy. They are trapped in an economic situation with few viable options. The stereotypes are not just hurtful, they are factually wrong. They obscure real problems and prevent meaningful conversation about supporting these resilient but struggling communities. In the end, what I've learned from my time in the mountains of West Virginia is a simple but profound lesson. Everyone deserves to be seen for who they are, not for what we assume them to be. The labels we use have a real and damaging impact. They strip people of their individuality, their dignity, and their humanity. They create barriers where there should be bridges. When we talk about inbred families, we reduce complex human beings to a single cruel descriptor. It prevents us from seeing the truth of their lives. True understanding doesn't come from a distance, not from sensationalized TV or jokes on the internet. It comes from listening, from approaching others with curiosity and empathy, from being willing to have our preconceptions challenged. The families I met in West Virginia are not a problem to be solved. They are people. They are mothers, they are fathers, they are sons, they are daughters, each with a unique story. Their lives show the power of family, community, resilience. We live in a world that feels divided, where it's easy to retreat into bubbles and judge others. But the world gets richer and kinder when we step outside those bubbles. Challenges here, poverty, lack of access to healthcare, social isolation, are not unique to West Virginia. They are American problems that deserve attention and empathy, not scorn. Their story is a mirror, hardships, quiet strengths. This is a call for a gentler way of seeing one another. Before we label or share a stereotype, pause and remember the person on the other side. Every person, no matter their background, their address, or their family history, lives a life as vivid and complex as our own. They deserve understanding, not judgment. By looking past the myths and seeking the truth, we don't just learn about them, we learn something important about ourselves and the kind of world we want to live in.